All right, let's get this show started.
In today's news, Khabib gives hilarious advice to Henry Cejudo. Khabib was recently interviewed by Cejudo on the Pound for Pound show, where they discussed Henry's potential title clash with flyweight champion Alessandro Pantoja. During their convo, Khabib said that if Cejudo stops eating burrito maratos, then he can become the UFC flyweight champion once again.
Cejudo versus Pantoja is gonna be big name.
Yeah.
They just bring somebody old with big name, make them fight.
Even if he was to beat me, you elevate him. He beats a legend.
But people underestimate one thing. Olympic champions, this is not normal people. This is like one up than other people. They don't understand Olympic champions level. If you put on your experience a little bit discipline, don't eat burrito, morato, all this crazy stuff. Just stay healthy, eat clean. You can become champion.
Burrito. That's what these are burritos.
Burrito. Like, can you imagine you come back and win 125?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, I can, dude.
You can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk with Dana too.
Okay. Thank you, my brother.
Because February you're gonna be 38, right?
Yeah.
But your time going with that.
Yeah.
Next year, 39 and very close to 40. Like you're gonna become very close to this year.
No. I'll be like this, dude. I'll look like Santa Claus, dude.
No.
Like that.
You don't need to.
Islam Makhachev vows to finish Arman Tsarukyan at UFC 311. In their first meeting back in 2019, Makhachev and Tsarukyan went the distance. In that bout, it was Makhachev who earned the unanimous decision win in a competitive fight. During an interview with Daniel Cormier for ESPN MMA, Makhachev explained why he struggled at times during his first outing with Arman and predicted he'll finish him at UFC 311.
I don't know his history.
I think he took you down.
He took me
like
down
3
yes.
times.
No, 1 time, man. No, watch the fight. You never watch my fight?
I watch your fights all the time.
Okay, watch. 3 times, nobody, brother. Even you, Nick, you cannot take me down 3 times, brother.
Take me down 3 times. Many times.
No, it's not true. You know, the first fight, and I don't know his background, you know. He defends my wrestling. He give me just, you know, he's tough. That's why he give me hard time. Mm-hmm. But now I know everything what he can do.
So you think you'll finish him?
I think yes. You know, Charles, every round almost finish him. Do some guillotine, do some triangle choke, like everything very close. But I think I have more chance.
Betting odds for Conor McGregor vs. Logan Paul have been released. On Monday, McGregor announced that he will be boxing Logan Paul in India in 2025. Tweeting, "The rumors of a bout with Topuria are false. I am in preliminary agreements with the Ambani family to face Logan Paul in a boxing exhibition in India. I have agreed. I will then seek my return to the octagon." After Conor's announcement, multiple betting sites released opening odds for the bout, favoring Logan Paul. McGregor opened as the plus 115 underdog, with Paul being the minus 145 favorite. If and when the fight gets signed, although unlikely, considering McGregor is still under contract with the UFC, then those numbers will surely fluctuate once money begins to pour in. Are you guys surprised by these betting odds? Who do you think wins this? As always, let us know in the comments below. Michael Johnson reacts to the crazy KO of AZAITAR. In his 30th UFC appearance, Johnson might have scored the most memorable finish of his octagon career, as he absolutely leveled AZAITAR with a right-hand knockout punch at UFC Tampa this past Saturday. Speaking to Kevin Iole, Johnson recapped the crazy knockout. You can watch the full interview on Kevin Iole's YouTube channel, links below.
Yeah, so 15 years, you know, I've had a lot of ups and downs, and that was almost more of a statement just to remind the UFC, just to remind the fans that love the sport that, hey, I'm still that same like Michael Johnson that's still fast, that's still sharp. Just I've had a little down slope up and down, and you know, I've been in a world trying to find my feet again, and that's one of the things with MMA. You know, it's easy to fall or it's easy to slip. You know, you think you're on your feet, and then you slip again. You know, just like you're on ice, and then you can get your feet, and then finally you can catch a little momentum. And like I said, with my experience and the names on my list, I don't see why Michael Johnson couldn't be fighting for a world title if I string together, you know, 4 or 5 more wins. You know, like I have no problem continuing to fight and continuing to go through guys and win, just to prove to everyone that I deserve something if I'm continuing to go for this title. So no problem, 10 fights, no problem, you know, 5, you know, whatever, you know, line them up. I have no problem. I'll just keep clocking and I'll keep fighting.
Aljamain Sterling shares his major issue with the Merab vs. Umar booking for UFC 311. During a recent interview on the Ariel Helwani show, Aljo questioned why the UFC booked Merab vs. Umar so quickly. Sterling believes that Vashvili is being rushed back to defend his newly won title and should have been granted more time as the champion.
I don't like anyone getting short-sighted, blindsided, having to take something on short notice. I mean, let's be honest, this fight's being made on six weeks notice, I think, or maybe 6.5 for a title fight. I mean, I understand having to do that if you're a challenger, but as a champion, you shouldn't be relegated to those type of stipulations. It's just not right. Then it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, as in, why did I work so hard to get to this position to call the shots, or some of the shots, and you're not even getting a fair shake in it, you know? So hopefully we go out there, knock on wood, Merab does his thing, he takes his O, puts on a great performance, and we can move on from this and on to the next.
Quick turnaround after a title fight. Where have I heard this story before?
Sounds very familiar. Yeah, but you know, the ones who don't understand the sport and what goes into preparing properly for a fight will say, but you should have never said yes. No one put a gun to your head. I'm like, I mean, you are technically right, but it's also not the correct thing to do. It's not ideal.
Fans in the comments don't necessarily agree with Sterling, with one fan writing, "Stay ready or you'll be forgotten. You can train as long as you want for a fight when someone pulls out for whatever reason. There's no right or wrong in the pain game. Warriors stay ready at all times. Merab is ready and it'll be one hell of a title fight. Short notice will be Merab's excuse when he loses. You don't call the shots when you're boring." Umar has the same amount of time to prepare as Merab. It's not like Merab is filling in for someone. Both are on an even playing field. I thought Dana said Merab asked for this fight on this date. Listening to Sterling is one of the worst things you can do for your career. The dude mismanaged his career so bad he's now fighting on the prelims. The guy wants like 9 months between fights, which is one of the reasons the fans dislike him. Belal Muhammad reacts to Joe Rogan's security joke. Since security stopped Belal from entering the octagon, Joe Rogan teased that they didn't know he was the champion. Fighters like Conor McGregor and Kamaru Usman have since been trolling Belal for the situation. However, Belal pays them no mind. In an interview with MMA Today, the welterweight champ said that he actually knows the security guys and they weren't letting him in for an entirely different reason. According to Belal, the security thought he was going to jump into the octagon to pull off a Sean Strickland or Merab Vashvili or something crazy like that. Belal also said that he's not bothered by Joe Rogan's joke because Joe is a comedian.
When Rogan says something, people listen, right? So like, what's been the reaction to when Rogan's like, "Oh, they don't know he's the champion"?
I mean, for me, it was like, I already know, that was one of the biggest. Those are my boys, right? I'm cool with them. Yeah. That's Ozzy and that was James. So I was just like, they thought I was gonna pull up like a Strickland or Merab and go crazy. They thought they're like, "Not you too." But I think because earlier that day they were already on edge because they had Nate Diaz and Islam the day before, so they had Islam ringside to avoid Diaz knocking out, and had Jamal in the building. Had to separate those two, and then you had Merab almost fight a fan. So I feel like they were already on edge, and they were like, "Belal, what the heck? You're hopping over the barricade? What's wrong with you? Like, you never do this." But for me, like I said, I don't take offense to that at all. Like, obviously, you're gonna have guys like McGregor and Usman try to take their shots, but that's all they could do, right? So that didn't bother me at all. And like Joe Rogan, he's a comedian, so he's gonna make it funny regardless. But
it's time for today's top memes. Third place was posted by Sama Salam. Second place was posted by UFC Snippets. And the top pick was posted by Serious Shopping 484.
Cocaine isn't cheap. It's expensive. Gotta make money.
Thanks for watching. If you like the content, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to stay in the talk.